Hello, welcome to Harrington Edutainment, where I am pleased to roll out our first video in our series of learning about the piano. If you're serious about learning to play the piano, then you understand that this, like everything else, takes patience. And so instead of jumping right into saying things about how to play and what to do about playing, our first lesson is about learning about ourselves. In order to learn, and we'll confine this to the piano, but it applies to anything, what is required is focus. Can you focus? So, in beginning our first piano lesson, you actually do not need a piano at all. The challenge is to sit and focus on one thing. You can look at a dot on the wall. How long can you stare at that dot on the wall? Practice staring at that dot on the wall and time yourself. Can you do it for 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes? The more you focus on the dot, you are now practicing the piano. You are now developing a necessary foundational skill that is required for playing any instrument. After you've worked on improving, working towards your mastery of your focus, I encourage you to, now that you've stared at this dot, this figure for so long, close your eyes and envision this dot. Continue to build your focus on remaining focused, your attention on the dot, both with your eyes open and with your eyes closed. I encourage you to, after you've improved in your proficiency in focusing with your eyes closed and then with your eyes open, or vice versa, switch between the two. Focus on looking at the dot, then close your eyes and envision seeing the dot with your eyes closed. And then open your eyes. What you're going to find is your absolute inability to focus on the dot. You're going to see how your thoughts range and flow. You're going to see how your mind wanders and drifts back. You're going to see how your mind grabs the distraction and says, hey, we're practicing piano right now. Let us bring our focus back. You might have physiological things that happen in your body when you decide to focus for a long period of time. They might be tapping your foot. They might be, like I said, your mind wandering off. They might be inside you recognize your digestion of something that you just ate. I encourage you to explore this deeply. This video is not long enough for us to really go through and practice it together, but for the sake of practical application, I ask us all now to take about 15 to 30 seconds and practice together. We will focus on the dot with our eyes open. How did you do? Did you notice anything? I know that with me, the first thing I noticed after I decided that I was going to focus on the dot was my breathing. While I'm speaking right now, I'm not in control of my breathing. In fact, my breathing is working around my speaking to make sure I survive. But when I decided to focus on the dot, everything else was silenced, and I noticed something that was not silenced: my breath. With the piano and any other instrument, just like with speaking, my breath worked around my words. And you'll notice that when you play the piano, depending on how intensely you're playing or how focused you are on a particular passage, your breath will move and articulate with the piano. So when you practice your focus on the dot, pay attention to the things that are happening inside of your body. This concludes our first lesson with piano. Please hit that like and subscribe button and let me know what you think and what happened during your experience of trying to focus.